Hello, everybody. Can you believe I'm in Panama and I'm wearing this? I'm sitting out on the balcony and, I was wearing this tank top and I felt a little chilled. That is so weird. Hola, Auntie. So I don't have a tea. I just pour a glass of wine. So I guess I'm going to have to keep my wrap on. Oh, that's good. Nice and chilled. But I brought this just in case. My fan. Hola on Facebook. I need to try to be on Instagram. I just can't maneuver all this social media. It's just too much. That's why I said I'm not going on Thread. I don't have a X account. I don't do TikTok. I'm not. Enough is enough. Hi. And pretty soon I'm going to see my nephew and all my old friends on Facebook. Hola, Tanya. How are you? I just did a consultation call today. I had two Spanish classes, and it was like, "Ooh." So this is my relaxation. Buenas tardes. I am you in Las Tablas. Good for you. You should go to Las Tablas next weekend for Carnival. Apparently, it's popping. But they have the best carnival. I understand, and they have won the best float for years now. They really go all out, and they're so nice over there in Las Tablas. And you're gonna be in Cologne for 9 days. Wow, in Cologne for 9 days. I've never heard of that. Oh wow, yes. So I'm going to talk about the Pensionado visa, and it's very simple, but timing is everything. And sometimes people have gotten in trouble uh, because they don't pay attention to the timing. If certain documents are old and you're going to have to start over, and from what I understand, they are making things a little bit difficult for some people. I'm doing good, Tanya. Just a little bit busy today, but you know what? I love being busy and I don't complain. I consider it a privilege to do work that I enjoy. Teaching Spanish, interacting with the ladies is so much fun. Oh, you had to start the process all over again. Yes. Hi from Denver, Laura. Tanya, are you here in Panama? I think I've seen your name. Or is it there are many Tanyas? Um, Greta, hola. Yes, they have some people who have had to redo their process because either their fingerprints expired or they didn't get their paperwork apostilled. And one person told me that, yes, one person told me that she I don't know what she did with her paperwork, but she didn't have her paperwork apostille. And then when you send it and with your visa and your time, it can be a little bit of a tricky situation. The good thing is that when you come to Panama, when they stamp your passport, they stamped it for 180 days so far. Now, who knows? Things could change. But in Panama, I hear that usually a lot of things change with new administrations. But this president has only been in for like a year, and the term is 5 years. So unless something political, some kind of pressure, and we don't know what's happening behind closed doors, and I'm sure there's a lot happening. pressure tactics and stuff like that. So we're just kind of, living our lives and just, you can do it in Panama, but you can have it done in Washington, D.C. as well, unless something has changed. You know what I'm going to start saying, a caveat or a disclaimer? When you book a call with the attorney, usually when I do a consultation, I give people three options. Giovanna Bernal was my attorney, and everything went really smooth with her. And they have Gonzalez. Janet Gonzalez is someone who's been recommended over. She works with her husband, who's military. So a lot of the military people, the vets, go to them because he helps them with the paperwork. And I understand they have a way to get the paperwork apostille for you. The attorney will do it. But once you make him do all that work, they're going to charge you more. So there are some things you can do on your own. When I came and I was doing mine, was it 3 years ago? I paid $1,500 for the whole thing. She didn't do my e-cedula, which is the I Revere from Florida. Where in Florida? I'm from Florida. I'm in the central part of the state. All right, let's start from the beginning. Otherwise, we're going to be all over the place. And we don't need to be here till 6 o'clock, right? Panama has been touted as being the most popular retirement place 2 years in a row now by International Magazine. International Living, I think. Yeah. And this is the magazine that a lot of people tell you that, oh, that's how I learned about Panama, because Panama has been in the top 10 for a while. Yikes. Now you see, again, the prices have increased because these attorneys are making a killing because they have so many people coming wanting the visa. All right, I go back to the visa. Panama's visa for retirees is one of the easiest to obtain. Okay? Put a Q in front of your question, ladies and gentlemen, because there's so many of them. Otherwise, Tampa. Oh, okay. I'm in Claremont, which is on the opposite, right? Going east. So Panama, again, has been in the top 10 of the most popular places for retirement. And initially, Panama was a retirement place. People like myself on Social Security who want to retire. Now you have a lot of veterans who may be young, right? But because the requirement to get the Pensionado visa is that you have to show proof of steady, regular income of a minimum $1,000 a month. And I'm always careful to tell you that that $1,000 a month is for you to qualify for the visa. That is not what you need to live on. Make sure you understand that, okay? Even though I've seen these videos about you can live for $1,000 a month, I don't know about that. Because my idea of retirement is not to be pinching pennies, okay? Because we have worked our whole life, right? And we want to live a little bit easier in retirement. Okay, so $1,000 a month for a single person. Some people qualify with children, and I think with your spouse or a child, you add an additional $250 for each person. So it's so easy. And I think the other place that I saw that has such an easy retirement process, meaning in terms of the financial requirement, was like the Philippines. The Philippines was really close. Like you didn't have to have a lot of money to show, right? Because if you go to places like Europe, France, and other places like Mexico now, you have to show that you have a lot more money coming in. So how can you show that you have this income coming to you regularly so you can take care of yourself. The main source of income for a lot of us is Social Security, right? So you go to Social Security, www.ssa.gov, you can have what they call your benefits letter. And your benefits letter shows what your monthly income is or will be when you retire. If you have not retired yet, then if you say, okay, I have, they tell me I can retire at 67, but I want to retire at 63. 62 is the earliest you can retire, okay? If you decide to retire early, they're going to ding you some money. They're going to say, oh, well, you're going to cheat us out of 5 years because, like I did, I retired at 62. My projected retirement age was going to be 67 and 8 months, like in March. That was going to be my retirement. I've been retired 5 years early. So they cut, I think they took like $550 off my monthly income. Well, some people might say, okay, I can afford to take that cut. Therefore, I'm going to stay and work till full retirement. That's a choice. And some people tell you, oh, if you stay until 70, you get additional money. I don't know who wants to work that long anymore. Not in this current situation. Other sources of income to make that $1,000 requirement could be pension. Let's say, for example, you were in the armed forces, you got your veteran benefit, or you can have pension from being a teacher or working for some other company. So, if you have, for example, $2,000 a month in terms of Social Security, you print your benefit letter. What I did, I went to the Social Security office and I had it confirmed. I had a manager say, okay, yeah, this is correct. And he signed, and then they put the stamp of the Social Security office on that form. But that wasn't it. I needed to do one more step. Okay? So your benefits letter is very important. Then this level 2 background check. Okay, let's see. Some people also would say, I have an annuity. Annuities can give you like more of some kind of a steady income. Is that sufficient? And I say, tell the attorney and ask the attorney if the immigration office here will accept it in case you have trouble coming up with that $1,000 a month, which really is not a lot of money. Also, if you want to retire abroad, and I don't mean this in any negative, or I'm not trying to insult anybody, okay? But if you're getting like $900 in Social Security because you didn't work long enough or you didn't do work where you put that much money into the system, you got to really do your work to decide where can I retire on that amount of money. Let's say the Philippines says you only need $900 a month, and that's what you get in Social Security. You may have to consider Thailand or the Philippines, somewhere where the cost of living is a little bit lower. Because let me tell you, it's not getting better in Panama. Things are becoming a little bit more expensive. All right. So when you're deciding where to go, it's important that you do the math, do the numbers, find out what the cost of living is, how much you're going to have to pay for an apartment. Yes, there are places here in Panama. If you leave the city, you may find an apartment for like $400, $500, but they're going to be outside the city, right? And you may rent a house where it comes with the electric, water, cable, Wi-Fi. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. And then you have to really be really diligent with your money. Some sisters are going out of the city now to places like Arahan, La Chorrera, and Bacamonte, places that are kind of away from the city where the demographics is not like you have to have $2,000 a month. Okay? Just be realistic about your budget. So, a minimum of $1,000 from Social Security, veterans benefit, teacher um, pension, or other pension. But the veterans, you're gonna have to have your letter also, and you're gonna have to have it apostilled. If it's a pension letter, it has to come from the company letterhead. So everything has to be professional, right? It's not something to whom it may concern. Mm-mm. Okay, letterhead. And they also want somebody's signature on there. Now, the other thing you need, and also remember what I said, when you talk to the attorney, they're going to send you the list of things that you need. Pay attention. If you have questions about what it is and the timeline, always send questions, send emails, send WhatsApp. Don't assume anything. If you are confused about anything, ask. Okay? In Panama, I'm talking about Panama. I haven't been to Colombia, Ecuador. I cannot speak to those countries. Somebody the other day sent me a message. Oh, thank you for your video. How can I get residency in Nigeria? And I'm like, I'm not in Nigeria. How can I tell you anything about Nigeria? I don't know. You need to watch some videos from people who live in those places. The other thing that you need is your fingerprints. They want a level 2 background check. Now, I'm from the healthcare setting, and we've always had to do level 2 background screening. When I used to hire someone, the level 2 was required by the state of Florida. And the state of Florida had some places they had contracted with to do the fingerprints, UPS being one of them, and then the post office being one of them. Okay? So you go there, they pick out the card, they do your prints, and then they'll give them to you. There also are some third party places, but you got to make sure when you go on the, let's say, Panama Embassy website, or level 2 background screening, and then you can store by your state, and they're going to tell you if they have, they're called channelers. They have places that have contract, all right, with the federal government, because that's an FBI report. It comes from the FBI. If you've ever had any charges against you, nolo contendere, no contest, or misdemeanors, or God forbid, what's the other higher one? Felony, okay? DUIs, anything to do with like abuse, you make sure. And in fact, people should probably check those things themselves before before you get to need them. So you can either go to the post office to get that done. I remember I had to get some done. It was difficult. They'll say, "Oh, the machine's not working. Oh, there's nobody here to do it." It's a pain in the tush, right? And the other places that I've had them done was at a UPS store. Again, you go online, you make an appointment, you get there, and they say, "Oh, the machine's not working," or the person who does them is not here. It's a pain. So if you're having difficulty, ask the attorney, because I think they know some other places where you can go. Someone told me that they had to send their application to have it. You can do it online too. I know. I didn't do mine online, so I'm a bit behind on that. And then they had to send it somewhere, and it took weeks to get back. I don't have experience with that, because I looked in my city, and there was one place I went in, and they did it, and then they have to then search the database, the FBI. Just the fingerprint is one thing. Then they have to do the search to see if anything comes up. Giovanna Bernal has some videos where she talks about the visa process. So as part of your due diligence, I would watch some of her videos. Now, I know Jackie Lang has some videos about that, but I think I would prefer to hear it from an attorney. All right? So if you go and in YouTube, just search Pensionado Visa Panama, and then they're gonna come and watch the videos and take notes. Listen to people interviewing attorneys to get the latest, the juice as to what you need to do. All right. The benefits letter doesn't expire. The level two background does expire 6 months. So what I would do if I were you, I would inquire as to how, what's the process first to get the level two? Are you going to go to the post office? Maybe you can try, see if the machine's working, somebody's doing it, and then do level two screening, Google it, put your state, and see what the approved channelers are, places that you can go get it done. Because there are places that is their job doing level two background screening. Some will email you the results, some will mail it to you. You need to have something in hand or in a digital format to send to the attorney. Somebody told me they uploaded all the paperwork into like a file and emailed it to the attorney. It was okay. I didn't do that. You can ask the attorney, is that an option? If I get my paperwork, can I scan them up into a file and send them to you, as well as my level two background check? All right. And the thing you have to do, you have to work with that attorney in your timeline, keeping communication going. Sometimes they take a little time to return the call. Don't give up. Keep calling, keep messaging. Because remember, you're dealing with people in a different culture where they are not as diligent or timely in their responses, and people get really frustrated with that. Your notion of hola Hilario, your notion about timeliness is not the same here. People don't rush through things. It's like tranquilo, we get to it. So give yourself time. And for God's sake, don't book your flight until you get the green light from the attorney, okay? So if you send your paperwork and you say, okay, please let me know if everything is in order, they'll say, oh, yeah, everything looks good. Well, that's good for you. You're doing your work on the other side, decluttering, getting rid of stuff. That's separate from your visa, okay? Now, what I usually do, what I did, when I sent my paperwork in, and then she said, oh, everything looks good. And then they'll say, oh, we have an appointment for you in 2 weeks. That's a good headway. Then you can book your flight around that time, not on the day or the day before, because you don't know, things could happen, weather, all kinds of stuff, right? So I would usually book my flight maybe 3 or 4 days before my appointment date. And this is only the first step. In Panama, you get a temporary visa once you go for your first appointment. And I believe there's also a healthcare thing that you have to do once you get here. You know, ask the attorney who they recommend to do it, and you go see them, do a quick physical. It's nothing involved, and that goes with them to make the appointment for you. And I know it's not like they send the paperwork today, they get it tomorrow. No, remember, tranquilo, everything takes a few days. But you cannot rush the process or assume that everything is okay unless they tell you it is so, and then they give you an appointment. So I would tell the attorney, please don't give me like a 2 day heads up. Give me a week or two so I can get myself organized. And again, I know a lot of you are in a rush to get here, but you cannot rush through this, okay? I spoke to someone today, and what she did, they brought the paperwork with them. Now, it gives you a sense of security to know that you have the paperwork, but it can mess up with your time. All right? Remember, you have your level two, you have 6 months for them to be able to use that. So you cannot send it too far ahead when you say, oh, I sent it, but I'm not ready. I have to wait 2-3 months. You're gonna mess yourself up. Okay? So when you start this visa process, make sure you're ready. You have the funds to book a flight, to book your Airbnb with everything else that goes with it, so that once they say, yes, you can come, then you're ready to go. All right? The other way you can get the paperwork to the attorney is via FedEx or DHL. Do not use the USPS. We do not have post office delivery here. There is no small little trucks. There are no mailboxes, none of that. I know they have some mailboxes like in some shopping centers, and I know when I was in El Carmen, I looked for a long time to find a shopping plaza where they have way in the back hidden. They have it says postal service. So I said, "Oh, how does that work?" They say you can rent a box, and apparently you can get some mail there, but apparently that's not working very well. Somebody sent me something there. I never saw it. I went to the post office. They said, "Oh yeah, we had it. We'll send it to your building." I'm still waiting. It's been 3 years. Never got it. I don't know where it went. So, don't trust that mail system. DHL or FedEx. Yes, it's going to cost you a little bit, but that's part of the what you got to budget for that. Okay, so you can email it if it's okay, or you can send it. All right. The danger of carrying your paperwork is the timeline. Let's say you flew in yesterday and you're trying to make an appointment to deliver these documents that you've been carrying with you to the attorney. Well, they may not be able to see you tomorrow, and then you're going to get all upset, bent out of shape. Oh, well, my time. Y'all wanted to do. It's not their problem. It's yours. Okay? Send it via FedEx. Send it before you get here so they can have time to look at it and give you the okay. Then they have to submit it to immigration. They have no control as to when the appointment is coming. They can't go to the immigration and say, put a rush on it. I don't think they can do that. Okay? So, we come here with the idea that everything revolves around us. It doesn't. You're in somebody else's country, and their system is slower, it's different, it's tranquilo. So you cannot get upset if things don't happen as fast as you expected them to happen. All right, I'm just telling you. Save yourself the aggravation because it's not going to help you in any way. And don't go badmouth the attorney. It's not their fault. Okay? Now, if they lose your paperwork, which I've heard that happen too, but hey, they are so busy now that it can happen. All right. So you got your appointment. They submitted your paperwork. I don't know how long ago. You have a firm appointment. So you come here 3, 4, 5 days before. You have time to rest. You walk around. Then you get what I would do too, take a Uber to the attorney's office before the day of the appointment, because that's happened to me. Now, you can go to the attorney's office and say, oh, I just wanted to see where you are. Or you take an Uber straight to Migration, which is the immigration office. The attorney on the day of your appointment, it's not the attorney that's going to go with you. People get upset. Oh, she sent her people. What do you think she's going to do? You think they have time to go to Migration with every single one of you? It doesn't work that way. They have people working for them. They know the system. They do it every single day. In fact, nowadays they're so busy. This lady said she went for her appointment and the attorney had 9 people there with them. And that was one day. And she said sometimes they go more than once. They have like 10, 15 people a day. Multiply that by 5 days. That's a lot of people. And multiply that by what? $2,700? A lot of money. A lot of money is being spent on these visas nowadays. All right. So the representative will go to the immigration with you, and then they'll tell you about the dress code, because there is a dress code. You can't go in that office looking like this. No, ma'am. You got to look presentable. Panama is very conservative. when you go into official offices, there's a way to present yourself. This is fine, but this is not, and you need to wear closed-toe shoes and look conservative. When you get there, the person will be waiting for you. They'll say, "Let me know when you get there." They'll come out and get you and kind of maneuver you to the crowd because there is a crowd. Trust me. Oh my God. Sometimes you go there, and I said, you know what? I'm a healthcare person and I worry about fire safety. And I'm like, if there's ever a fire in that place, it's not going to be pretty because they have 2 floors that are full of people up and down, moving up and down, going here, going there, windows going. I mean, it is popping, okay? But have no fear. Your representative is going to just let's go. It's going to take you around because they know they know the game. You get there, they'll, the person check. You have to say nothing. You don't have to open your mouth. You don't speak Spanish anyway. Even if you did, it's not your place to speak. Your representative is going to talk, take care of everything. And then once they check the paperwork, they say, okay, go over there. That's where you go get your picture taken. That's going to give you that temporary card. One thing you need to know, Panama is very strict about how your signature matches the signature in your passport. So you may want to practice doing your signature kind of close to what it looks like. I think I had to do mine 3 times there at the desk. It's not your time to try to be fancy, something different. Practice your signature before you get there and then look at your passport and say it needs to match. You go to the bank to open an account, same thing. They'll say, and look the same. Do it again. Because they worry about fraud and all kinds of stuff. Once you sign that paperwork, they'll at the window, they'll say smile, whatever, and then you take your picture and then the card, they hand it to you. So that's your temporary visa. The other option that could happen with these people who carry their paperwork with them, all right? So you brought the paperwork with you when you flew in, maybe 2-3 days for you to go to the lawyer's office, or maybe you could say, oh, well, if you can't see me, can I drop it off? You could do that, right? Take an Uber, drop it off. I remember I was going to my attorney's office and the Uber took me to another office and then I had to walk to find the attorney. I was sweating. It was hot. Wasn't a good thing. Then the attorney is going to have to review the paperwork, submit it. So you're losing days, right? Let's say it's 2-3 weeks into your visit when you do get the appointment to go to Migration. Well, I don't know where you've been staying. If you're staying at the the Marriott, so I suggest you stay in an Airbnb. All right? And if you're coming in, give yourself 2-3 weeks. Don't, this lady said, oh, I said, well, how long were you staying? 5 days. That is not smart to do that. Because in 5 days, things weren't happening as fast as she was hoping. Then she ended up having to extend her stay, extend her return ticket, and all that's costing money. So make sure you do 3 weeks, 4 weeks in an Airbnb. Give yourself the leeway. Because once you get your temporary visa, then it's going to take 4 to 6 months for you to get the permanent. With the temporary visa, some people can sign a lease for an apartment. You can open a bank account, and you can even open a bank account with just having your information with the lawyer. He can, if you're in a rush, she or he can give you a letter that said, Mrs. So-and-so is my client. We are in the process of getting her residency. You take that to the bank and you should be okay. So 4 to 6 weeks. Months, 4 to 6 months after you get your temporary to return to get your permanent. One thing you know is that in Panama, you cannot start the process on your own. By law here in Panama, everything has to be handled through a Panamanian attorney, not your attorney at home. And if you come and you hand your paperwork, you already lost 2 or 3 weeks. Now, they may not call you for like 6 months. So you're running the risk of overstaying your visa. Because that 180 days, if it's here and you haven't gotten your visa, you're temporary, you have to go home. You got to make a border run and come back. And don't make a habit of going and coming back in 2 or 3 days. They're going to flag your name and say, why are you doing this? Are you a resident? Are you in the process of getting your residency? So don't get used to doing border runs like that, okay? So for the person who brought their paperwork, they run the risk of running out, their visa expires, your length of stay for 180 days. You don't want to be on the wrong side of the law in a foreign country. Don't do that. I know there is a temptation to say, oh, let me try. Because coming back, you may have problems, okay? Because why should you do that? They don't have any reason to let you back in. And these days, don't mess with immigration and border and all, because you don't know. You don't know. There's a lot going on under the, I don't ever recommend anybody do anything that is outside of the law, okay? All right, so the best thing is to get your temporary, go home, get all your affairs in order, and wait for the next email in 4 to 6 months that says, oh, now we have your appointment for your permanent. Then you can book your flight again. Give yourself a few days in case something happens, flight delays, you don't know. And then again, the same people, or could be somebody else, take you back to immigration. They're going to take that temporary, take your picture again, have you sign again, and then you leave with your permanent residency card. Now, you have to agree that this process is really easy because, if you are, like in the US, it takes a long time to get residency, right? So we are grateful that Panama is that easy, but what it takes is people to pay attention and follow direction. And you would think it's something easy, but some people don't pay attention to details, and the details do matter. Timing does matter. Those fingerprint cards, I can tell you how many people would say, oh, they expired, or I overstayed my visa and I had to go back. I don't know. To me, that's money you're wasting, right? So pay attention and timing. Listen to the attorney. If you have questions, ask. So your first order of business is to get your paperwork apostille. And like I said, I think they have some places, and then ask them if they know how you can get it done. The way I did it, I had my benefits letter, I had my fingerprint cards, and I drove from my town to the next town where they had the embassy, and I turned it in, I think with my passport, and then they say, come back in 2 weeks. And then I came back, everything was stamped and signed, you are good to go. I walked myself to DHL, put the attorney name on, and sent it on. Then I said, okay, I sent it. Let me know when received. Somebody signed for it. Yes, they got it. You track it. And then I said, is everything okay? And she said, yes, everything looks good. And then you start the process. So mine was seamless, okay? It doesn't have to be difficult. Pricing. When I did mine, the other thing to know about your residency, once you get your residency card, it does not expire in Panama. You don't have to renew it every 10 years like some places. Because now they took the temporary, they give you your permanent. But what you're going to need to do after that is get your national ID card called an e-cedula. Cedula is the ID card people use all over Latin America. The E means for extranjero. That means you're a foreigner. All right. So some attorneys would include that in their fee. That's why the fees are going up, $2,700. Some attorneys also will help you open a bank account, And then somebody said they charge you $500 to open a bank account. Come on. You can pay a fixer $25, $50. They'll go with you, sit there. You don't need to pay any $2,500. I mean, even if there's an attorney watching, I'm like, that's a lot of money to help somebody open a bank account. You don't have to pay that much money. All right. I used to go and help people, but sometimes it's like hours and I don't have that time. So I say, oh, call this person. He's a fixer. He'll go with you. And you deal with him for however hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. If he said, well, $50, that's better than 500, right? Mm-hmm. The e-cedula, you don't do it at immigration. You have to go to tribunal, which is the place where people get, I say acte de naissance, birth certificates and marriage certificate and places like that. So you go in there. I had a friend, her attorney did her residency, but the e-cedula was not included. So they were going to charge her an additional $300 at that time. Now it's probably more. I said, you don't need to do that, because when mine was stolen, when I was pickpocketed, my attorney was supposed to send someone to help me, and they were giving me the runaround. I said, forget it. I'm going to do it myself. Yes, guys, please give me a thumbs up on the video. Por favor. So I walked into, you can take the bus or you can Uber to tribunal. So I go in there and I said, I want to apply for my, because mine was lost, for my e-cedula. They sent you to a window, you fill out the application. I think it was like $10, $15. I mean, it was very simple. You submit your application, they take your picture, and then they say, come back in a week. And in a week, you go back and they hand it to you. I don't have mine. I should have showed it to you, right? So that one, you have to renew every 10 years, that ID card. And once you have that e-cedula, that's what becomes your ID. You don't need to walk around with your passport. Well, at least here. Over there, you have to walk around with your passport now. But when I go on a bus, I'm traveling, sometimes the police would come on and they want to see ID. So if you don't have your e-cedula, show your residency card. If you are a tourist, then you show your passport. But if you're living here as a resident, you can just show your e-cedula. Now, cost. When I did mine, and I know Giovanna probably will be upset, I think I paid $1,500. And the way it worked, once you agree to work with the attorney, I think there is like a letter of intent or some kind of my contract, what they're going to do for you. Make sure you see, what's included. So if they quoted me like they quoted, who was it? Sandra, $2,700. I want to know, I'm like, what is included? Okay. Is that the visa, bank account, or e-cedula? Make sure you ask that, because sometimes they want to add to it, more money. And like I tell you, you can hire a fixer for this stuff to help you get your driver's license, your bank account. They'll help you with the lease and all that. Okay. So now, because there is such an influx, hola, Greg, Rufus, because there is such an influx of people, supply and demand, inflation, whatever you want to call it, prices have gone up. I'm hearing it's between 2,000 and 3,000 now. There is no standard. The attorneys can choose to quote you whatever they want based on their rates, and you can take it or leave it, right? So just shop around a little bit. And I think there is another group called Independent Lawyer. They say it's a smaller practice and the prices are a bit better. There is another group called CNL or whatever attorneys. So I always give people like three choices. I say book a consultation call, have your question ready about what paperwork they want, any recommendations they have, the timeline, what's included, and then, how you feel about talking to the attorney. And then once you choose them, stay with them, because if you break the contract, you're probably going to have to pay that money. All right. So unless something is awfully wrong, you can work with them, talk to them. Don't come across as overbearing and they're supposed to cater to you. Ay, don't do that. You're going to perpetrate the idea of the rude American. Don't do that. You are in somebody's country. You're trying to get in, so be nice. All right? If there is something that's not going well, watch your tone on how you're talking to the staff. They're not here to serve you, it's a business. You want them to be professional, you be professional. Okay? And again, I heard people say, oh my God, oh, it's so expensive. Do you know anybody who can do it on the cheap? What? No, I don't. No, I don't. These people are in business to keep their practices. Of course, some of them are making a lot of money. Like Giovanna, I hooked up with Charlotte Van Horn. She's going in there. Every time she has a tour, she gives a talk. So it's a steady um, flow of business going in. So she's grown her business, her practice a lot, right? Because they've been together like 4 years. So, but take it or leave it. You don't have to complain. You don't like her price. You don't like her. Move on. And I've had people say, well, I had a conversation with her. I didn't like her vibe. But that's okay. Go to the next one. You don't have to like the first person you see. I'm very big on what's the word? How you feel about when you're talking to someone. You need to be comfortable, just like with your doctor. You want to be comfortable with your lawyer. You shouldn't be feeling intimidated or I'm afraid to ask. You're paying him or her, okay? Just be professional and polite. When you in your email, remember, emails can be rude too. So be careful how you send those messages. Now, if you're in an office and there are like 5, 6 people and you're sending a rude email and then you're upset that they don't get back to you, what do you think? I wouldn't want to get back to you either if you're rude. All right, so that's the gist of the Pensionado visa. And to understand too, you don't have to be retired to benefit from that visa. As long as you can show a steady income, because the country doesn't want you to come and become indigent. There is no such thing here. Cash is king. You pay for your care, you take care of yourself. One thing Panama doesn't do that other countries do is require that you show insurance coverage. I don't know if that's coming at one point, but you can't get residency in Portugal, in France, anywhere in Europe unless you can show that you have good health insurance. They don't want you to participate in their system, not participate, but be responsible. The state be responsible for you. So you have to have coverage. That is not a requirement here yet. Okay? Okay. Well, if Jackie has some people like it, and like I said, it can change from one day to the next. So make sure you shop around and then choose the one that makes more sense to you. 27, 3,200. Yeah, that's on the high side. Hello, Miss Maggie. One thing that bothers me about the expat is they won't talk until you pay them something. Well, you're not paying me and I'm talking to you, so we're not all the same, I guess. I give a lot of free advice. But if somebody is just getting started in the process and they say, oh, can I pick your brain and you're going to keep me on the phone for like an hour? No, I want you to do a consultation call. But once you get here and you say, I have a question about this and that, yeah, I don't mind having coffee with you. But That's why I've been here so long. I've been here since January 26th. That's not that long. I'm hoping to visit a lawyer now heading to Cologne. Well, are you here to be a tourist or are you here to get a visa? Okay, so if you are focused on getting your pensionado, this is not the time for you to spend time, exploring, unless you are kind of waiting to hear from the lawyer. That's why you can come to visit just to get a feel for the place or you scouting. And then once you decide to come for your visa, it's more serious, okay, and more focused. So $2,000 sounds about right to me, but 3,200, that's a little bit on the high side. Keep shopping. Um, you have to start the process again. Oh, that's expensive because you have flights, you have Airbnb, you have transportation, you have food. That's a lot. And I also caution you to make sure you got travel insurance. If you're coming here and you don't have any insurance coverage, make sure you have travel in case of emergencies, right? Yes. And there are other visas that people get here. There is the Friendly Nations visa. I usually don't talk about it because I'm not privy to that because I did not go through that process. And again, Giovanna has lots of videos about that. This is for people who are not retired, who don't have a pension or whatever, and still want to be here. You have to kind of have so much money, put it in a CD or buy property and all that. So again, I'm not an attorney. I cannot give you advice on that. So listen to the attorney and ask your question because most of them will talk to you, do a free Zoom call with you. So make sure you have all your questions and use that time to clarify where you stand, what you qualify for, and what it might cost because that's going to help you budget, right? I did come for the Pensionado visa. I also came to explore different areas. Okay, okay. But hopefully you go in with the fixer because that's the best way to see the different areas. They'll take you around. They'll give you the pointers. Like some of them are from Cologne. Like the fixer I have is from Cologne, and he works with expats all the time. So he's heard all the questions, and he knows what you know. Kind of give you a lot of insight. Okay. Yeah, you're welcome, Sandra. And I don't think there is anybody here who would willingly want you to fail because we know a lot of us, we're not independently wealthy. We don't have, income that we can afford to lose a couple of thousand here and there. That's money, right? So that's why timing is so important. And I tell people if you are ready to go, right? You're ready to leave the US, wherever you're coming from, and you say, okay, in that 6 months, I have to make it work because I don't have the money to keep going back and forth because that's expensive. You've already downsized, you've taken care of the issue with your car, your house, your kids, whatever, your belongings, and you're just waiting and hanging. Okay? Send it ahead, come, get your temporary and pray to God that you get your permanent within the 6 months, and then you don't have to go back and forth. So the timing can work for you. Good, good. I'm glad to hear that about the realtors because you hear some stories sometime with the realtors and some of the owners with the build with the deposits. And we tell people you come here, you pay 1 month security, 1 month rent. It's only two. Do you know if you go to Ghana Africa, you have to sign a lease for 2 or 3 years, not even 1 year. They want you to, and you pay ahead. There is no month to month. You have to pay for your 2 years up front. That was one thing. Now I said, hell to the no. I'm not doing that. What if I don't like the place? What if I want to leave? Well, you can leave. You lose your money. You're not going to get anything back. And they played hardball. And they say, oh, it's not the law. Well, but that's what everybody's doing. If it's not the law, somebody's not enforcing the law. To ask me to give you $4,000 up front for an apartment that I may not like, not doing it. But the realtors here also are becoming very busy because of the sheer number of people coming here. So when I came 3 years ago, I went on Encuentra 24. I went on Encuentra 24 and I looked. And I mean, I think I probably was watching, visiting apartments for like a good solid 2 weeks. That's a lot of back and forth, because these people, they meet you, they show you the apartment, they say, go to the next, which is what you do in the States. So that takes a lot of their time. And if you are looking at different neighborhoods, that's a lot of footwork and it's a lot of information for you to process, because I tell people, take a notebook with you with the apartment number, where it is, what you like, what you didn't like, so that when you go home and you're trying to make sense of it, and don't try to remember it from here. It doesn't work that way, right? So they'll spend a lot of time showing you apartment. Nowadays, not so much. What they want to do, not all of them, and they'll say, what is your timeline? When do you expect to move? So if you say 2 months, they're not going to get back to you because time is of the essence now. And it's not just the realtors, but the owners. Because remember, when you in a building says PH, what I'm told, and if I'm wrong, I know Hilario is going to correct me. That means a lot of the units are owned by individuals. It's like a condo association. So when you sign the lease, you're signing with the owner, not with the building itself. They may have a management company, right, that manages stuff, but your agreement is with the owner. So the owner pays their commission. I've been told that nowadays, not before, some of them are charging you, saying, okay, I have 4 units to show you, but it's going to cost you $100 for me to go out there and show it to you. That's not the norm. That's not the norm. So I tell people, go to the Encuentra, find 3 or 4 apartments in the areas that you want, which is how you search. You can set your search. And then at the bottom, there's a button for messaging the realtor. And then you make appointment with them that way. But again, if you say you're not ready to, sign a lease for 2 months, they're probably not going to return the call to you. It's like they have too many fish in the sea. Other people are coming and ready to, they're holding their money and say, we're ready, we want an apartment. Of course, they're going to go with them. I heard one tell me the other day, because I was thinking at one point I wanted to leave my apartment and go somewhere else. And he said, what's your timeline? And I said, December. And that was October. He's like, nope. The owner said they want to rent the place within 2 weeks. They're playing hardball. And it is taking people a bit longer to find what they want. What they want me being that your location, you're looking at walkability. How close are you to hospital, your doctors, to shopping? What about public transportation? Are you interested in that, or are you an Uber person? Or are you going to be driving, right? So the building, you want to look at the building. We've had several buildings that have had gas-related fires in the city. People have died. So I'm not interested in being in any building where they use gas. That's me. I've never used gas when I was in the States, and I'm not interested. Even though I'm a cook, and people are like, oh, gas is better. I'm like, I don't care. I'm not used to it. The first apartment I had was gas. All I was willing to do was tup, 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 and then with the little thing. But the stove, I was scared to death. I never used the stove because I didn't know where the fire was coming. Could I see it? I'm like, no, 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 no bueno. So I never baked anything in that oven. Nada de nada. So I tell my older ladies, because people have died in fires in El Congrejo. They had one not too long ago in Tumba Muerto. People died, they have a gas leak. And when the explosion goes, it doesn't go to one floor. It might go to two, three floors up. Then people are displaced. They have to fix it. It's a mess. So I don't want any building that uses gas. My building is all electric. And the owner told me the last fire they had in El Congrejo, where an old woman died, the condo owners got together and say, we want to switch to all electric. So everything is electric now. And that's what I want. You want a building that has a generator in case of power outage, right? Which doesn't happen a lot in the city, but it could happen. So you want to make sure you have a building with the generator. My building also has a backup water tank because we have a lot of water disruptions here. They'll say, oh, in Chiribre, they're going to fix something. The water will be off, from like this hour to that hour. We've never run out of water. The only time we've had like a little sputtering is when they were doing their own cleanup of their own tank here, not from the potable, whatever, company. So all these things are important to you as a single person to have the backup, 24-hour security, all of that. Okay? You are so right. You give information info. Do you have an email address? Yeah, I usually put my email in the chat. Somebody sent me an email this week. My problem, let me tell you, I got 3 email addresses. I have 2 Facebook pages and 2 YouTube channels. So when someone sent me a message, and I said, Maggie, the moment you see the message, answer it. Because if I see it and then I'm busy and I go do something else, this morning I've been trying since last night to remember where I saw this particular message, and I have been able to remember. And I feel so bad because I don't want somebody to say, oh, there she is, she's ignoring me or whatever. And she had something she wanted to gift me, and I can't. If you're watching, could you please send me a message? I'll put my email address, even my phone number. Please WhatsApp me because I feel really bad. I looked on my WhatsApp, I looked on the Facebook messages. I can't find it. I don't think it was Instagram. I do have Instagram too, but I'm not very active on that. All right. That's my email. And I don't mind giving you my number because it's on my YouTube page, my WhatsApp. And then if I see something I don't recognize, I don't open it. Like I had a couple of messages this week. Oh, your premium is gonna increase $604, blah blah blah. But it never referenced is it a policy? Is it my home insurance policy? Whatever. So it's like ding ding ding. You gotta be careful. Don't get caught up in those scams because they're gonna get you, and then that's how you get viruses uh, in your computers. All right, Sandra, that would be great. That would be great. And if you have any specific questions, don't hesitate to ask because the purpose of our group is that we want you to have a soft landing, right? I had a sister one time call me. Oh my God, that was I'm not funny, but she said, oh, I'm at the hotel. I'm hungry. I don't know how to get food. And I'm like, do you have a phone? There is something called Uber Eats. You can order. And even any other stores close, you could say food near me, right? If you Google that, and even if you don't have Wi-Fi, which you should, because I've told you, get a SIM card at the airport so that when you leave the airport, you have Wi-Fi. and then you say food near me, you're gonna see the restaurant, and then you can order takeout. They're gonna send it to you via pedidos. Yeah, they're gonna send it. They're gonna deliver it to you. I remember being in Rwanda and my phone wouldn't work and I couldn't order food. Oh yeah, that was challenging. That was challenging. The Airbnb had some crackers and some couple of sodas. That's what I ate for a couple of days. Yes. You know, you live and learn because I didn't have the correct SIM card on my phone. All right, any other questions, you guys? This is the time to ask your question. Is it clear as mud? Do you understand now about the Pensionado visa? Well, guys, if you don't have any question, that's pretty good. That's been only an hour. And I am going to log off early. So tomorrow for the cooking, we're cooking breakfast. I'm making French toast, omelets, hash brown, and fresh fruit for breakfast. And then I also have some marinara, so I thought I'd make some a vegetable chili and some cornbread. And then I have a friend coming to get the cornbread because I say I don't want to leave that here for me to eat. All right, give the thumbs up, ladies and gents. 34. We need to get the thumbs up higher. Por favor. You're welcome. But you know, there are a lot of people here from the States getting pensionado. I see a lot more couples here. Yep, I see them at the mall. In the, thank you, Sandra, in the, on the metro. So we went to, we were eating lobster tail yesterday. So we were sitting there. There was a group sitting at the table, and one of them came to me. She's like, Maggie, she recognized me. Then we were walking to the metro station. We made a stop at a store, and this lady sitting in a chair getting her hair braided. She's like, Maggie. You know, I meet people at the mall, at the metro, outside the metro station, everywhere at the mall. So hopefully, you know, they're getting the right information because I know there's some information out there that's just not quite accurate, but I'm not gonna go and tell the person you're telling the wrong information. That's not my place. No. So I always tell you when you are trying to get information, get it from multiple sources and compare. Don't just take one person's word like gospel because you know we could lead you astray and we may not do it, you know, willingly, intentionally. So if I say something and then you say, oh no, but Jackie said it this way, then we have to find the truth and give you the right information, right? But if somebody's been here for 3 years, they know a little something, something, right? So you have to give them credit for that. I see people just get here within 6 months and they're an expert at everything. Oh my God, that's scary. Because that's why I said I am not an expert in the friendly nation. Talk to the lawyer. I know what I know, and I'm only going to tell you what I know. If I don't know, I say, I'm not sure. Let me find out. Right? People like that, I would respect. But if somebody has the answer for everything you ask and they're an expert, it's like, ding, ding, ding. Be careful. No one's an expert at everything. Okay, you're welcome. Bridget Samuels. Oh, I didn't know you were watching. Tanya, yes. You know what? With the cold weather going on in the States, I thought maybe I should do something warm, like the, you know, chili and cornbread. That's always good in the winter, or some kind of soup to warm you up. Oh my God. I was doing the Spanish class this morning, and Greta she had two hats on. She got cover her ears. She had her gloves on. Oh my God. I don't want to be that cold again. No. All right, ladies and gents, I'm going to log off. If you have had all your questions answered, watching from the UK, Bridget. Oh wow. Well, it's probably late now over there. 9 o'clock or so. Okay. Well, thanks for watching. You'll probably be reaching out to me. That's very good. Yes. Super Bowl. Yes. Oh. I asked the ladies if some of them would like to watch the Super Bowl. Nobody answered, but I'm watching. I want to see Bug Bunny. Hey, Bad Bunny, I am going to watch that. I got to learn my lyrics so I can sing with him. I wasn't a fan of Bad Bunny. He's changing, he's maturing. So, yeah. DK Allen, how are you from, where are you again? I forgot what state you're in. I got some chicken wings. I can enjoy chicken wings by myself. I don't know what else. Usually chicken wings because I feel guilty, so I need to get like some carrot sticks or some kind of veggie with it, right? Ah, yes. Hell to the no. Yes. Ah. November. Oh, you coming to November in November? Okay, good. It's a good time to come to Panama. Escape that cold. I mean, I love London, but I was in Manchester when I was in London. It was gray and raining all the time. Kind of gets to you after a while. No bueno. I like to see the sun. Now, I like my cloudy days. It's been cloudy here in Panama. It's a very weird dry season. We've had more rain in this dry season. I don't understand it, but everything is changing here. Oh, Greta, you're gonna send the drone for your bowl tomorrow? I haven't seen the drone yet. Yes, Oklahoma. That's where you are. Be careful of those tornadoes over there. Oh my gosh. All right, ladies. I will see you tomorrow for the live. So we'll do the chili. No, first we're gonna do the cornbread only it's like 20-30 minutes. It doesn't take long. And everything is gonna be cooked. We've been pretty like 1 hour, so it's not gonna take long at all. The chili probably is gonna take the longest, but just because I have some marinara, some chunky marinara, I don't want to freeze it. I want to use it in something. Yeah. All right. All right, ladies and gents. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. Okay. Thank you for the thumbs up. And I will see you tomorrow. Au revoir. Bye bye. Bye, guys. Thanks for watching.